Welcome to another Driving Point production. Skirt, skirt. Brought to you by MyT Sports. So, let's get the greetings first of all. Good afternoon, people. I know you've had to have heard it. I know there's no podcast going on right now, so we gotta have to share it this way. Leonard traded for Derozen. And for the players, let's start with the players. I mean, let's start with the transaction. It sounds like everybody's a loser. Initially, it just sounds like everybody's a loser. Off of one simple fact, the players hate it. The players absolutely hate it. Kawhi Leonard doesn't want to go to Toronto because all he wants to do is go to LA. Derozen never wanted to go to LA because he never wanted to follow in Kobe's steps, because he was like, yo, unless you win 6 rings, what are you going to do in LA? So he wanted to stay in Toronto for life. So the Spurs get a player that doesn't want to be there. The Raptors get a player that they don't want to be there. And I'm trying to think of, is there any silver lining here? Are there any happy endings? And there was one. There's absolutely one happy ending. And that's for the San Antonio Spurs. Because you know DeMar DeRozan is going to be there for a while. Right? You know that you have a system that if you put DeMar DeRozan in, that he may actually buy into the system. Not only buy into the system, he may actually even get better as DeMar DeRozan continues to improve his game. This may be the perfect place for DeMar DeRozan to go to the San Antonio Spurs. Now let's talk about the Toronto Raptors. Because the Toronto Raptors had the best record in the East this year, right? If I'm not mistaken, right? 2 years, couple years in a row, you know, back-to-back years, you know, making it into the playoffs, improvements, all kinds of stuff, you know. 2 players that can lead, that are the head of your team, that are willing to stay. Yeah, got players there. Right? So, after having probably one of your best seasons of all time in the franchise, and after losing against LeBron like everybody in the East has done for the last almost decade, you fire your head coach that just helped you get this record, and you get rid of your franchise player. I don't understand what's going on in Canada, eh? I don't know what's going on in Canada, eh? But something smells a little syrupy. Something smells a little syrupy. Somebody is sipping on that scissor. That's all I'm saying. Somebody has got to be sipping on that scissor. That maple syrup, that is. I see somebody was running themselves off the road. But there's still some silver lining. Maybe, if you're Toronto. I'm sorry, if you're the San Antonio Spurs. If you're Toronto, I don't understand what the hell you're doing. I don't understand what the hell you're doing, because you got rid of the actual player that made a difference. You understand? And if you looked at Toronto, and if you had to say between these 2 guys, between Lowry and DeRozan, who was the problem here? Who was the guy not showing up? Who was the guy that always needed to take some kind of freaking nap because he couldn't finish games? He needed to go into the back. That's Lowry. That's Kyle Lowry. Like, and you kept the problem. Like, what is Kawhi Leonard supposed to do with Kyle Lowry? Like, did he just want 2 KLs in there? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Because if you were hoping that, oh, hey, let's get Kawhi Leonard up here, and just maybe, he'll fall in love with the team, he'll fall in love with the country, he'll fall in love with the city, eh? And he'll about to stay after he just said he wants to be in LA because San Antonio wasn't enough for him. You think Canada's gonna? I got family in Canada, I got brethren in Canada. I'm not trying to catch. I'm not throwing shade on Canada. I'm just saying it's Canada. So that's where you decide to send him, and you keep Kyle Lowry. Like Kyle Lowry, like let's get this straight. Kyle Lowry ain't no Russell Westbrook. Kyle Lowry was not the head of that team. As I just said, Kyle Lowry was actually the problem. So now the Toronto Raptors have 3 problems. They have no coach. They have a star that doesn't want to be there, and they have a star that constantly makes mistakes. And yet this was a good trade for them somehow. I don't understand what's going on up north, but you know what? All I can say is I'm just glad it's not my team. It's a Hard Knocks Life. It's another Mighty Boys production. Skirt, skirt. I'm your host, Gallon Thoma. Take that, Taylor.